Ever felt like life just flipped you upside down? The crisis, the chaos, everything falling apart around you. You feel like you've lost control, like the situation's too big for you. Well, here's a tough pill to swallow. You're not in control of anything. And if you keep clinging to the illusion that you can control it all, you'll keep failing. The only thing you truly have is your ability to adapt. That's what separates the weak from the strong. Those who adapt don't freeze up. They find opportunities in disasters. So, tell me, are you the type to back down and fade away when the storm hits? Or do you stare that chaos in the face and figure out how to come out on top? If the thought of change scares you, if you're afraid of losing, this path might not be for you. But if you're ready to uncover how adaptation can be your secret weapon, stick with me. Let's dive deep. Have you ever stopped to think about how the world around you is constantly changing? I'm not just talking about the big stuff, like technological leaps or economic shifts. I mean the little things, the subtle nuances that often fly under the radar. One small detail you overlook today could be the reason you fail tomorrow. The real question is, are you paying attention? Recognizing changes in your environment isn't just a skill, it's survival. Whether it's at work, in relationships, or facing personal challenges, the world around you is always shifting. If you don't have the sensitivity to notice these changes, you'll react too late, and you'll pay the price for it. But this isn't about paranoia, it's about awareness. Too often, people get comfortable with what works now, thinking today's success will last forever. That's a trap. Yesterday's success can be irrelevant tomorrow. Think about how many leaders, companies, or even athletes have been left behind because they didn't see the transformation happening right in front of them. Recognizing change takes humility and courage. Humility to admit that what worked before might not work anymore. Courage to adjust your course, step out of your comfort zone, and explore uncharted territory. Yeah, it's painful. Nobody likes to let go of what they know. But if you don't adapt, you perish. That's the brutal truth of life. So, how sharp is your ability to see what's happening around you? Are you observing or just blindly going with the flow? This is just the beginning of the reflection. Noticing change is one thing, but how you respond to it, that's what really determines your fate. How many times have you pushed forward with a plan, even when you knew it wasn't working? Admitting something needs to change hurts. It's like acknowledging that all the time, effort, and pride you poured into it might be for nothing. But here's the truth. Sticking with something that's lost its relevance is like rowing against the tide. You're burning energy, but you're not getting anywhere. Reevaluating your strategies isn't a sign of weakness, it's a mark of intelligence. Sometimes, what seemed like the perfect solution becomes obsolete as the context evolves. Markets change, people change, and you've got to keep up. Sticking rigidly to a plan that doesn't fit the new reality is a recipe for failure. So, why is change so hard? Because reevaluating demands the courage to strip away certainties and make room for new possibilities. The question is, are you ready to face this deconstruction? Your ego will try to convince you there's nothing to change, that the problem is out there. But winners know the secret isn't blaming the environment, it's adapting to it. Reevaluating is a constant process of self-criticism and adjustment. It's not about throwing away everything you've done, but fine-tuning your approach before it's too late. Remember this, the strategies that got you here might not be the ones that take you to the next level. And that's a good thing. Because every time you reassess and tweak your actions, you get closer to results that truly matter. So, here's the question. Do you have the guts to do it? Or are you just going to keep pushing forward, ignoring the changing world around you? You know that moment when you realize something's gotta give, but you just can't break out of your old patterns? It's like trying to navigate a new road with a map from a different city. Recognizing that your strategy needs an overhaul is only half the battle. The real challenge is aligning your behavior with those changes. Old habits are like invisible chains. They pull you back to what's comfortable, even when you know comfortable isn't cutting it. If you want to align your actions with new strategies, you've got to get brutally honest with yourself. What habits are sabotaging you? Procrastination? Chasing approval? Refusing to step out of your comfort zone? Now listen up. Changing behavior isn't about short bursts of effort. It's about intentional consistency. It's like training a muscle you've never used before. At first, it hurts. Feels impossible. But with repetition and focus, that behavior becomes part of who you are. And when that happens, strategies that once seemed out of reach start to click. Because your actions aren't holding you back anymore, they're paving the way forward. Understanding the need for change isn't enough. You've got to act. Small tweaks, made daily, create massive impact over time. Need an example? That habit of dodging tough conversations might be wrecking your ability to build real relationships. Fix it. Start with one conversation at a time. Because every little adjustment is a step in the right direction. But here's the big question. Do you have the guts to let go of who you are now to become who you need to be? Because without that alignment, no strategy, no matter how brilliant, will ever be enough. Unexpected challenges don't knock politely. They storm into your life, tearing everything apart. And you know what separates those who survive from those who crumble? Resilience. But resilience isn't some armor that makes you invincible. It's the ability to be flexible enough to bend without breaking. When a problem blindsides you, your initial reaction sets the tone for everything that follows. Despair? Anger? Denial? Those emotions are normal, but if you let them take over, you'll lose control. Resilience doesn't mean you don't feel the impact. It means you feel it and still choose to respond in a way that strengthens you rather than paralyzes you. Now, think about this. Have you prepared for the unexpected? A lot of people think resilience is something that magically appears during a crisis. It's not. It's built during the calm days. It's your daily habits, your self-talk, and your ability to learn from small failures that prepare you for chaos. When the storm hits, it's not the size of the problem that matters. It's the strength of your foundation. Here's the hard truth. No one can build resilience for you. It's a lonely, often thankless job, but it's absolutely essential. Life isn't going to lighten the load so you can keep going. It's up to you to strengthen your shoulders to carry whatever comes your way. Is it fair? Maybe not, but it's reality. So, ask yourself this: how do you handle setbacks? Do you get up, learn, and move forward? Or do you sink into self-pity, waiting for someone to save you? That answer, my friend, is what defines who you truly are. Chaos isn't just a disordered mess. It's a test, a filter that separates the mediocre from the visionary. While most people scramble to shield themselves from life's storms, those who truly get the game look at chaos differently, as an opportunity. When everything seems to be falling apart, most people focus on the problem. But the secret is to look beyond it. Chaos means movement, and movement creates gaps, spaces where no one's paying attention. That's where opportunities live. To spot these openings, you need two things: calm amidst the despair and a trained eye to see what others don't. This doesn't mean it's easy. Finding opportunities in chaos is like searching for gold in a sandstorm. It takes patience, focus, and, above all, courage. Because opportunities rarely come wrapped in safety, they come with risk. And risk is the price you pay to stand out in a world where everyone else is paralyzed by fear. Here's a truth most people won't admit: chaos is the perfect stage for those willing to act while others hesitate. It's not about luck, it's about mindset. If you train your mind to see beyond the immediate, you'll start to realize that even the toughest moments have something to offer: a lesson, an unexpected connection, or even the chance to redefine everything. So, tell me, what do you do when chaos knocks on your door? Do you hide, or do you search for that one opportunity that could change everything? Because, at the end of the day, chaos is inevitable. The difference lies in how you face it. Have you realized that real power doesn't just come from how you handle changes, but from how you reflect on them? Changes without reflection are just motions. Changes with reflection transform into learning, and, ultimately, it's these lessons that shape your future. Without reflection, you repeat mistakes. With it, you evolve. Many people go through transformations, adjust their behaviors, face challenges, and yet stay stuck in the same cycle. They've changed on the surface, but haven't internalized the learning. That's where most fail. They don't see that the biggest benefit of change isn't in the new strategies, but in how you become stronger and smarter by facing them. Now, ask yourself, do you make it a habit to reflect on what you've learned during each challenge or change? Or are you so obsessed with immediate results that you miss the lessons hidden in the process? Reflection is where the magic happens. It's where you see what worked, what didn't, and what could have been done differently. Most importantly, it's where you figure out how to apply those lessons to your future decisions. But reflection isn't easy. It often requires you to look at yourself in a raw, honest way. You can't hide your failures or mistakes. Reflection is a mirror that shows who you really are, not who you wish to be. And it's in this confrontation with reality that true change is born. Because from that moment on, you're no longer a victim of chaos. You're someone who's learned from it and now uses it to their advantage. The truth is simple: if you don't reflect, you don't grow. But if you do, you gain the power to shape your future in any way you choose. Life isn't made of easy moments, but of challenges that break and shape us. You've learned that chaos is inevitable and, more often than not, difficulties aren't just obstacles, but sources of growth. When everything seems lost, that's where the key to evolution lies. The weaknesses you try to hide, the mistakes you're afraid to admit, are precisely what will teach you to be stronger. Every failure is a lesson, and real adaptability comes from learning from them. Don't fool yourself. Those who chase success without reflecting on their failures won't get far. But if you face your flaws head-on, using chaos to grow, then true victory will be yours. Now, are you ready to reinvent yourself with every adversity, to learn, adapt, and come out stronger? Because that's the only way to master the art of winning.